Hey everybody, it's PJ Dudek. Welcome back to my channel and my series on Dune Messiah. Again, I'm reading through the entire book in preparation for the Dune 3 movie, which is coming out in December of 2026. Definitely very excited about that. As we continue on in this series, I just want to always give folks a friendly reminder. I'm going through the book the movie is based off of, so you're going to likely hear some spoilers. If that's a problem, you have been warned. Chapter 4 was an interesting experience for me. This chapter made me just very uneasy, unsettled, and it was by intent by Frank Herbert, and I thought that was pretty cool. And I'm going to get into that in a moment, share some of the details. Before I do that, I am a sci fantasy author. My Song of Emerus series is going to be available in summer of this year, 2026. I'm relaunching book 1, Earth's Door, in a second edition. I'm very excited about that. And also book 2, Crimson Light. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about me and my writing, head over to my website, www.pjdudek.com. So in chapter 4, we move from Paul's perspective back over to Scytale's. Again, Scytale is the Tleilaxu Face Dancer, basically a shapeshifter. He and his people have been biologically engineered to be able to do very, very strange things like that. And he is in Arrakeen right now, the capital city of Arrakis or Dune, and he is looking for somebody. He's taken on the appearance of Duncan Idaho, which was sort of a warrior buddy of Paul's from book 1. And he's wondering if anyone would actually recognize him. And when he does finally find the person he's looking for, which is an elderly Fremen fellow living kind of in a cul-de-sac of Arrakeen, which I found interesting because I didn't really think of this desert city as having a cul-de-sac. But anyway, this fellow, whose name we find out is Farok, does sort of recognize this disguise. So Scytale has to sit down with Farok, and Scytale is wanting to learn more about Paul's fortress. If there's any weakness to it, any way he can get inside, because obviously Scytale is part of and almost seemingly leading this conspiracy with a few others, including the Guild, maybe Irulan, the old Reverend Mother. Farok tells him there's really not that many weaknesses, if any, but a larger part of this whole discussion is Farok explaining why he's no longer as optimistic about Paul as a leader, where he once was this Muad'Dib, almost a god. Now he's someone who's sort of diminished the old ways, the old culture of the Fremen people. And despite Farok having actually gone on the jihad, because that's how supportive he was of Paul, 10, 12 years ago, he's a bit disillusioned. So now the reason he went on the jihad was very interesting. He wanted to see a sea or an ocean. And when he finally got this opportunity on another planet, I think in some ways he fulfilled that goal and now was like, okay, now what? And, again, longed for, I think, what he actually had back on Arrakis. At least that's the way I interpreted the vibe he was giving off. Now, what was really unsettling about this chapter is it's kind of this normal conversation you might expect, with Scytale trying to figure out how to get in the fortress and Farok telling a little bit about this jihad. Is the fact that Farok's son, who's a young man, is behind the scenes playing a baliset and singing kind of haunting songs about the past. So it's really creating an interesting atmosphere. And the whole time I was thinking, like, something's wrong. Something bad's going to happen. And we also find out that the son was part of the jihad and he had gone blind and now he's not able to find a wife. So he's pretty sad right now. The conversation ends with Scytale at least getting a little bit of information about Paul's fortress. And then all of a sudden, he just kills Farok. He has like this poison dart thing. And I believe I got him in the throat. Then very casually, he wanders in and does the same thing to Farok's son. And it just was astounding how unemotional Scytale is this whole time. He's just very cold-blooded, so to speak. And yeah, how he's leading this whole conspiracy and what he's doing to other people that are actually kind of part of it just really adds to his villainy. While the same way he's just so nonchalant about it. That's what was just extremely unsettling about this chapter and made me overall feel uneasy. It's probably the most uncomfortable I felt reading either Dune or Dune Messiah at this point. So they're setting this villain up pretty well. Chapter ends with Scytale meeting with a potential suitor for Farok's son, but she's not really, we'll see, dating him. And she's not fully understanding what's going on. He says that, oh, yeah, they're just sleeping. In reality, they're not. And he invites her to come along with him. And apparently there's some reason for that, some purpose that we as readers aren't aware of yet. So that wraps up chapter 4. I'm eager to dive into the next chapter. Would love it if you would consider subscribing or dropping me a like, and eager to hear any comments you might have about chapter 4 or Dune Messiah or Dune in general, or if you're excited about the movie. Anyway, till the next one, take care. Bye.